to the Saturday Night Swirl with your host, Roadrunner89. Hope you enjoy. All right, welcome to Saturday Night Swirl with your host, Roadrunner89. All right, it's good to see everybody here tonight. Okay, um, I got something I want to talk about tonight, and this is something I see, all right, something that's out there. Okay, we know what pick-me's are, right? And a lot of women can fall into being a pick-me, okay? And this is something that goes along with society, and all groups of women can be a pick-me, okay? A pick-me is somebody that wants to be picked, somebody that might be desperate to have a man, to be loved, and will sacrifice things that she really shouldn't sacrifice to be that pick-me, to be chosen, to be picked. There's women out there that will date and marry down to have a man, that will sacrifice their standards, okay, and try to build a man, kind of like kind of like build a bear, okay. You want to take that man and build him into what you want him to be, right? Unfortunately, the man has to want to change, and it takes him having something move in his heart to where he wants to be better. He has to have humility. He has to have accountability. And it takes an act of God to change a man. Okay? Ladies, you're not going to walk in and change a man. You can show him all the love you have. You can love him. You can do everything for him. You can cater to his needs. You can do everything in your power. But unfortunately, if he don't want to change, he ain't going to. And a lot of times we have women that become pick-me's. Okay, and I've seen it across racial lines. I've seen women that will sacrifice everything for that man on the hope and the prayer that he will come along and one day do right, one day uplift you, one day be that man you always wanted, right? That can happen, and it does happen, but it's very rare. Okay, and ladies, don't submit to pick me compliance. Okay, be first class. Be that first class woman you were created to be. Have your standards. Okay, do not worship men. We're just men. Okay, I always tell women don't do that. And there's many women that will worship men. Okay, and whether it's black or white, and there's women of all groups that become pick because they just want to be picked, they just want to be accepted, they just want to be loved. Okay, and unfortunately, when women give up ground, when women concede their standards, when women lower their standards and don't stand on their standards like they used to, then they end up becoming pygmies. And not even, they might not even know it. They end up submitting to pygmy compliance. Okay? Where that is, you uplift the man, you do everything in your power to uplift the man, to make him feel loved, to make it, to uphold his ego, his ambitions. And there's nothing wrong with uplifting a man that you love, okay? But if that love doesn't come back, something's wrong, okay? You know, we all want to be loved as human beings, right? But a lot of women fall under this pick me compliance because they feel, and a lot of black women I've seen online and I've talked to that feel if they just do a little bit better, they can win the love of that man. You know, if she would just, and a lot of black women are you know, have this dream of black love. If they could just uplift the black man and just love him and just pour everything into him, be more submissive, be more understanding. You know, if he wants you to wear your natural hair, okay, changing that, you know, and a lot of times that don't make the situation better. A lot of times it makes it worse. And I'm going to tell you something about us men. I'm talking about men across the board, every racial group of men. When men are not held accountable, when men get comfortable with women catering to them, us as men, we're really no good. In fact, we lose our value, our character. We take the easy way out, and unfortunately, human nature is that way. Humans, you know, us as humans, we want the easy way out. We don't want to put in the work. We don't want to be held accountable. We don't want to do what's necessary to grow and be stronger. Okay? That's human nature. Now, a good man will be humbled. A good man will strive to be better. A man that loves you will put you first. And if you have that, you're set. But most of all, men need accountability. If we don't have accountability, we're no good. Okay? And these could be good men, but if they don't have accountability, They're going to slip. They're not going to be at their full potential. Okay? And a lot of times women think they can uplift the man and just pour love into him, and one day he's going to see the love he has. He's going to see everything you've done for him, and he's just going to wake up one morning and say, you know what? I need to do better. And that's a beautiful fantasy. It is. Can men do that? Of course. There are men that do better, that do change their ways. Most do not. Okay? I'm just going to say it. And I'm being honest. Okay? I have some videos I want to show you about being a pick me compliance. Okay? And speaking to women, okay? And I'm speaking to black women, but I'm also speaking to all women. Do not give up your value. Do not submit to someone that don't deserve you. Do not lower your standards. Do not, okay, settle for less. If that man is not at your educational level, at your spiritual level, okay, and you don't have the same goals that you have, it's probably best that you leave them alone, okay? And I know that's easier said than done, but truly, you want somebody at your level, especially women, you know, financially, emotionally, spiritually, okay? And there's nothing wrong with a woman wanting a man that's successful, a man that has resources, a man that is motivated, okay? A lot of times, and most told he's trying. And I would say to women, don't get caught up in that. Hey, CWC, good to see you. Good to see everybody tonight. Okay? Ladies, if a man don't have what it takes to take care of you, to be your husband, he don't deserve you. Okay? And here's the thing. If a man can't afford a wife, he don't deserve a wife. And I know that's hard. I know that's harsh. I know that's, and I don't want to put a dollar sign on a good man, okay? Because money don't make the man. But a good man that's motivated, hardworking, usually will meet the standards, okay? He might not be rich, but he's willing to do what it takes to provide for his wife, his family, okay? And you got to have that. And there's nothing wrong with being attracted to a man that has resources. But don't make that your only attraction to him. You know what I'm saying? You got to be well-rounded. You want a man that you're attracted to. You want a man that loves you. And you want a man that's going to work hard for you, protect and provide for you. You want a man that's successful. You want a man that's a go-getter, that has a can-do attitude, right? And a lot of times these pick-me's end up with men that are substandard, men that aren't willing to go that extra mile, men that are dependent on women. You know, we see it all the time. And look, at the end of the day, the woman is the prize, the woman is the treasure. The woman decides whether the relationship goes further. The woman really does. I know us as men, we pursue and we go after, we pursue the women we want to be with, that we're attracted to, the ones we think are the best option, right? But it's up to you to say yes or no, ladies. You hold the cards whether you know it or not. It's up to you. And if he don't meet your standards, leave him alone. You know? But with all that said, what creates a pick me? Okay? Any woman could become a pick me. Okay, some are more extreme than others, right? Some women are so desperate they'll do whatever the man wants. They'll even put up with abuse. They'll even be humiliated. They'll even take the blame. They'll even do without for the man. They will. It happens. Now some women fall into the pick me status because yeah, they want to have a man. They're lonely, or they give in a little bit and think, well, he's lacking here, but overall he's a good guy. I'll give him a chance, right? A lot of times it don't turn out too well. And I wish our society was different. I wish that in society that dating was more of courting, to where we were more motivated for marriage, for family, more so than dating. Okay. And honestly, I've been married over 30 years, 31 on the 19th, right? And I never wanted to be in a dating relationship the rest of my life. I didn't see that as an option. I wanted to be married, have children, and that's what I always wanted. And that's what I was taught. That's what you do, And from a boy to a man, I was groomed, okay, by my family to become a husband and father. Even though my parents were teenagers, and you know, I'm a product of their lust, but and my father married my mother because of me, um, but they were still in that structure, that traditional structure where you don't lay down with a woman unless she's your wife, right? And my father was taught that, but he gave in to sin, and so did my mother. And they were raised to be traditional, right? Now that just shows we're human, okay? We could fall into temptation, and that don't make us bad people. It just means we made a mistake. It means we weren't strong enough to do the right thing, okay? I'll put it at that. But anyway, being a pick me, ladies, don't get caught up in that. And a lot of times black women get caught up in that. And it's not because they want to be pick me's. It's just that the number of men that they have to choose from is real slim if they're race loyal, okay? And black women that can go either way, be in the community or open up their options, they tend to do a lot better because they have more choices. Women that are race loyal, they struggle a bit. And the reason is black women outnumber black men by over 2 million, okay, in our nation, right? So you're at a disadvantage. And believe it or not, black men know that. And they know you are the most race loyal. They know if things don't work if they open up their options and things don't work out with Becky and Mei Ling, that there's a black woman out there that will take them in. Okay? Whether that happens for them or not, they believe that. And really, the numbers really show that. Black women are the most race loyal. They are. Okay? I say black women are the best option for all men, but black men get first choice when it comes to black women. It is what it is. It's the truth. Um, but with that being said, there are plenty of black women that want to open up their options and date other men. And I just think us as non-black men, we need to be more open and to see women for their character and not be stuck in this racial segregated mindset. I think us being separated is actually destroying our country. I do. I think we need to come together more, okay? And I think black women need to open up their options more than ever. And I think white men and other non-black men need to reach out to black women. I think our nation would be better. Heck, I think the world would be better. Okay? But anyway, you guys know how I feel. You know my opinion, right? And guys, as I go through these videos, okay, I'm going to have something special at the end of the show. I have 2 inductees into the Dusty Dumpling Hall of Fame, the Beta Dumpling Gang. I'm going to add 2 more members tonight. Okay? It's going to be a special night. And I'm going to explain how they become a Dusty Dumpling Hall of Fame member and how that came about. And I'll do a little biography on these 2 personnel. Well, there's actually 3. Okay? There's 2 black guys and a white guy. And I'm going to show you some comments I got. Okay, and I'll show you some. I do get love on my channel, but I do get a lot of hate. Okay, there's a lot of people out there that do hate me. There's a lot of people out there that want to see me disappear off YouTube. There's been people that have threatened me to say, you know what? Either change your content or leave. I mean, just tell me straight up like that, right? But I ain't going nowhere. But if it affects my family, my wife, yeah, I would step now. And I was about to. But knowing that my wife loves me and wants me to, fight the good fight and, embrace my passion. So I'm still here and I will always be here. As long as my wife's got my back, I'm always here. Okay? But anyway, okay, let me show you some videos. Okay? And look, when I say pick me, I'm not putting nobody down. Look, we're human, right? And ladies, there's a lot of women out there that are lonely that want to be loved, and they'll give a little bit to get a man that might not be great, but they could work on, right? That's a lot of women's mentality, right? Of all races. But a lot of times black women, because the numbers are against them, black women will concede a lot, okay? And I see it online. I've seen it in real life where black women will say, okay, well, maybe I need to do better. Maybe I need to be more submissive. Maybe I need to be natural with the hair. Maybe I need to be more understanding. And I see black women checking each other online. And I look at that, and in my opinion, black women don't need to change. It's the men that need to change. Okay? In the black community, I think black love ain't happening, not because of black women, but because of black men. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for that, but that's my opinion. Okay? This thing of marriage is just a piece of paper. This thing of, well, I'm not ready to get married yet, and you wait several years, but you have children. Okay, that makes sense. Wait till you're ready to get married, but have children out of wedlock. You don't have to wait for being ready for that, right? I see so much of that. I see black women in colleges. I see black women, you know, move out of their homes. And, I see white women go and get married, where I see black women not so much. In fact, black people tend to get married later on in life. Why? And if you're a man, why would you wait till you're 40, 50, 60 to get married? Wouldn't you want to be married when you're young, where you can experience life with your wife, embrace that love, build a family? I got married at 24, and I'm glad I didn't wait longer than that, because me and my wife got to experience life together. Our children growing up. We got to experience our kids growing up and doing amazing things, and our kids getting married and having grandchildren. And we're watching our family grow. Okay? That's the beauty in it. And honestly, I don't think, well, I know my life wouldn't have been so good if I didn't choose the black woman. I'm just being honest. Okay? But anyway, let me show you some of these videos, and we're going to talk about pick-me's, okay? And look, there are women that are pick-me's in all races, right? That just desperate to have a man. They'll worship a man. The man is everything to these women, right? But ladies, if you're patient and hold up your standards, you can have the man that you desire, the man that you deserve to have, without having to lower your standards or date and marry down. Okay? But that's easier said than done. Okay? And later on, I might be talking about men. Are there pick-me men? Oh, yes. They're all over out there. I call them pick-men. 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 They want to be picked too, right? They go, it ain't just women that are pick-me's. Okay? But I'll get into that later on. Okay? All right. And Alex, I see you in the chat. Good to see you, brother. Okay, I got some of your stuff I'm going to use tonight about the pick-me. You had an awesome video, awesome live show about it. And guys, go check out Alexander Brandon's show. Okay? This guy is truly a diamond in the rough. This man has character. He loves black women. And he has a good channel. Okay? So support him. Show him some love. I've known him for years, and he's always had my back. And people that I follow, he's always had their back. He loves black women, and he's respectful. Okay? And I'm going to use some of his stuff tonight, on this show. And anyway, but go over there, show Alexander some love. He's a good man. I call him the diamond in the rough. Okay? He's that good black man out there that a lot of women call them unicorns because it's a fictional character, don't exist. But there's good and bad in all groups. Okay? And he's one of the good ones. Okay? Anyway, I'm not going to go deep into that. Okay. But Alexander's a blessing. Okay. Let me show you some of these videos. And the first one I show is one of Alexander's from his channel. I think it's one of his shorts. And this young lady talks about pick-me. Okay. Let me show it real quick.
Say to not be a...
Okay. This is a beautiful video. And listen to what this young lady says.
Affirmations to say to not be a pygmisha, selfish babe. I honor myself at all times. I am the prize. I view myself as the prize and act accordingly. They reach out to me more than I reach out to them. I am whole right now. No one else is needed to complete me as I am complete right now. I create time for the things I enjoy doing and do them. I receive the gifts, the compliments, and the money. I am deciding to not help any person on the struggle boat interested in me. They need to find their own solutions outside of me. I cook and clean for myself, not a love interest. I know that there are so many options out here that want to honor me. I do not settle. I don't know if I said this one, but I am the prize. I view myself as the prize and act accordingly.
Right. And she's absolutely right. Okay? You listen to what she said. She is the prize. She is a treasure. Okay? Okay? Putting herself first. And ladies, always put yourself first. Okay? You are the treasure. You are the prize. Okay? You are. Don't let nobody tell you no different. I know there was this Kevin Samuels bandwagon where they tried to say the man is the prize. No, 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 and no. Us as men, we're not prizes. We're not the treasure. Okay? A good man is valuable. Okay? I'll say that. A good man is needed for the family. Okay? So, men, you do have value. You do. A good man is a blessing. But the woman is the prize. She is the treasure. Okay? And guys, us men, look, let's be honest. Okay? We're not the prize. We're not the treasure. We're expendable. Okay? We are expendable. And I know some people say, Roadrunner, what are you talking about? What do you mean we're expendable? We're important too as men. Yeah, we're important too. But when it comes to the family, who's the most important person in the family? Okay? Number one, it's your wife. Okay? Number two is your children. And at the end of the totem pole is you, guys. Now, you are a blessing. You're much needed. Okay? But you cannot be a man and be the prize. Okay? It's not going to work out. You're going to be more focused on your ego and what your needs and wants are, and you're going to forget about your wife. And that's what happens in a lot of relationships. A lot of men have a big ego, and they'll look at the Bible and say, well, women are supposed to submit to men because that's what the good book says, right? But they fail to realize that's something within marriage. In order to get submission from your wife, there's requirements. And it's not just being a man, okay? It means that you love your wife like Christ loved the church, right? That you would lay down your life for your wife in a split second. That you put your wife first. You sacrifice for your wife. When you can do that, then she's going to give you submission, and she's going to do it without even knowing she's doing it. She's going to do it because she loves you. She wants to pour her love into you. She's going to want to give you everything. And making you happy makes her happy. If you're doing what you're supposed to as a man. Okay? And that's how it works. Because when you come into a relationship with true love, okay? And when you do it, when you got love on both sides, you're going to be successful. Okay? And that's where marriage works, when you got two people that love each other, that pour into each other. Okay? Men and women do have their what you call it? Men and women do have their roles to play. Okay, we do. Okay, and when we come into love, it's going to work out. Okay, but when you're truly in love, you're so focused on the one you love that you're not even worried about what you get out of it. In fact, you're blessed so much that it works out. A lot of times relationships don't work because a lot of us men think that women are just supposed to be servants to us and submissive, and when we marry them, they're supposed to cook, clean, take care of the household, and do it all. Even if we're 50-50, right? But we fail to realize that our wives are a true treasure, a blessing. And they're human, right? My time in my army, and I'll share this with you real quick and I'll move on. When I was in the army, and me and my wife, our children were little, 3 toddler children, right? I had, I was in the army, I had the job. My wife couldn't work because 3 kids, there's no way. And even if she did, it would cost us more in daycare than she would make anyway, right? So we had that traditional family. Okay. And my wife had the cooking and cleaning and all that because I wasn't around because I was working, right? But I tell you this, whenever I had a day off, whenever I had some time, I would give my wife a break because I understood that a lot is on her shoulders. Okay. And on the weekends when I got time off, that was the time I had with the children, with my daughters and my son. And when they're little, they look forward to that. Oh, Dad, what are we going to do when you're off? They'd have plans and doing these activities, going to the park or, going somewhere. And we made it an activity. And I would get up with the children, feed them, and we would go do an activity and go have fun where my wife could sleep in, get some rest, and recharge. And she embraced that time. She can rest and have to herself and watch her favorite TV show on the day I was off. That was her thing she embraced. But a lot of us men don't see that. And if you're in a marriage, listen to me. Guys, you might be traditional and you go to work and she takes care of the household, that's great. But you gotta understand, it's much harder taking care of the children in the household than probably what you're doing. I'm just saying. So you got to give her a break. You got to understand. She needs a break. She needs some of her alone time. As much as she loves you and the children, but unfortunately, a lot of us don't see that. It's all about, okay, this is how my grandparents did it. That's how we're going to do it. And that's the end of it. No. Okay. But anyway, I'm kind of getting off track. But what this young lady was saying is she's putting herself first. She is a treasure. She is a prize. And she's got to put herself first so she can be first class. So she don't have to end up within pick-me compliance where you're struggling just to have that man. And you sacrificed your standards, your values. What, for a man? I'm going to tell you a little dirty secret. Women do better alone than us men. I'm going to be honest. Look, I can't see myself alone. I go nuts. Okay? My wife is everything. I think women do better by themselves than men do. It just and with that being said, women and men do want to be together. I think we're both men and women are do better when they have someone that loves them in their life. But I just think it's a lot harder on us guys to be alone. Anyway, but that was a good video. Okay. And that was from Alexander's channel. Okay. And he's been talking about, pick me's and don't fall into that. And really think about that, ladies. Don't lower your standards because you'll fall under pick me compliance and you won't even know you're doing it. Okay? I'm just saying.
To not be a pick.
Okay, I already showed that. I had that downloaded twice. Okay, let me show you another video real quick. Okay.
He says, I've seen white men.
Okay, this lady is talking about a white man marrying a black woman that has children. Okay? And I know this goes off subject, but then again, it kind of goes along with that pick me thing. Okay? And listen to me, ladies. Listen. Okay? You might be a single mother. Okay? And, there are men that will look down on you because you're a single mother and this and that. And a lot of men are told, don't get with a single mother, get with a woman that don't have children. Okay? But sometimes you fall in love with somebody that has children. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with marrying somebody that has children. Okay? As long as you have true love between each other. And most of the time, the men will take in the children, adopt the children. And white men are more open to marrying black women that have children than black men are. They just are. Okay? Not saying it can't go either way. It can. But I've seen white men marry black women that have black children. It's perfectly fine, no problem. I think there's more of a problem when there's a white woman with biracial children, and you would say, well, what's it matter? Children are children, right? But a lot of times white women will diss white men when they go for the black man, and when they come back, a lot of white men are skeptical, like, oh, okay. And I don't think it's because of the children. I think it's because, wait a minute. It didn't work out over there. Well, that's where your heart is. Why are you coming to me? And that's where you get the Becky return policy, okay, that I talk about a number of times, right? And it's sad. It really is. I feel sorry for these women. Because you think you love somebody and it don't work out, but you don't want to be alone, and maybe you're with the black guy and now you're in love with the white guy, but now there's problems. And from what I've seen, it's not a racial thing. It's like, can I trust you? Right? Because the thing of it is when white men date out, we just do it. And we don't go out there and hate on white women. We just don't. We just into the black woman. But there's a lot of white women that will show hate towards white men. And maybe that's why when they come back, they have problems. But white men, when they date out, and most white men never come back when they, feel the love of a black woman. But when or if it happens, white woman will fall in line. Okay. But anyway, I don't want to go deep into that, but she's talking about a comment she got with a black man saying that he sees white men marrying black women with kids. He don't agree with it, but he sees it happening. But anyway, let's hear what she has to say. Okay.
He says, I've seen white men raise black children with black women, which I also don't agree with, but it does happen. Why? Why is that an issue for you? You do know that sometimes black women have relationships with black men, they don't work out, and then that black woman might end up with a white T man. What's the issue? He's going to accept her children as if they are his. That's the way it's supposed to be. I think you're forgetting that there's a huge difference. YT men already know that black women, for the most part, have been with black men because black women are the most loyal. They are the most loyal group of people. So sometimes black women who are now becoming more open to dating out, those black women have already had children with black men. There's nothing you can do about that. So if they want to open up their options to a YT man or Hispanic man or an Asian man, they have the right to do that. And there are other races of men who will still be willing to date them and help take care of their kid. This is not the same as black men who date outside the race. We know that now. I've talked enough about that on here. So I would like for you to explain that to me and make it make sense. So let's say I had a relationship with a black man and I had a child by him and we broke up. So now I'm dating again and I just happen to meet this wonderful YT man or this wonderful Hispanic man. Are you saying that they shouldn't date me because I have a black child? I need you to talk to me because typically when you come on here, you support the things that I say. So I need to understand where you're coming from with this comment, okay? And I'm going to give you a chance to explain that. All right? All right.
All right. All right. All right. I think she's right. Let me say this. Look, I've talked to plenty of white men that love black women, and look, us as white men, if we're dating a black woman and we fall in love with a black woman, we don't give a damn that she was with black men. We know that's the community she came out of. We don't care about that. All we care about is her and at that time. You know, when I met my wife and we were dating, I was the only white guy she ever dated. Did I care that she had black boyfriends before she met me? Honestly, I didn't care. Oh, well, what is she supposed to do? That's the community she's in. Okay. We understand that. We don't care about that. And even if my wife had children, I love her so much I would take her on with her children if she had some. She didn't have no children, but if she did, I loved her that much, okay? And I would say to a lot of black women, you're a single mother, and you're better off opening up your options, okay? Because of the culture and what I've seen, a lot of black men view you as damaged goods, okay? Not all, but a lot do, because you have a child. That's an added responsibility to take care of a kid that's not his, right? A lot of white men don't look at it that way. They're like, okay, I'm in love with her. She got children. Okay, I'm with her. Now these children are with me too. And not all white men will do this, but they're more commonly to do this. And maybe it's because white men understand that more. Like, okay, look, if you love her, the children are a package deal, right? And for a single mother, a black woman that's a single mother, your best option is to have that open option. Okay. And not settle for less because you have a child. Don't be brainwashed that you have to lower your standards because you have a child out of wedlock, or maybe you're divorced and you got children. No. If you're a single mother, your standards need to be higher than a woman that don't have children. Okay. But I'm telling you, how white men think, we're not worried about the men that black women were with. We know they're with black men. They're more loyal to black men than any other group of men. So we understand that. And that's okay. If we love the black woman, we just want her, and okay, we're in love now. Hey, I don't care what you did in the past before I knew you. You know what I'm saying? We don't really worry about that. We're more open to a black woman that has black children than a white woman that has biracial children. I'm just going to say it. And you might say, why is that? Oh, because white women, to open up their options, are going out of the norm, right? So white men are cautious. Like, wait a minute. Your first choice was a black man, but you come back to the white man. Oh, what? Nah. They're like, wait a minute. Okay. And I get that. And if white women felt that way with white men that open up their option to come back, yeah, they should be cautious. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest. Look, my first choice is a black woman. That's where I went from the get-go. But for me, I'm not coming back anyway, so it wouldn't even be an issue. Okay? My heart always belonged to the black woman, always will. It don't matter how many black women like me and all that other stupid shit. It's just the black woman's the best option. That's who I want to be with. Okay? That's just me. That's where my heart is. But if I was to be with a black wife and come back, and Becky was like, well, wait a minute. Okay, I can understand that. That makes sense. It's not a racial thing. It's like, oh, well, wait, where's your heart? And really, it took me some time to understand that, because I thought, what the hell? Okay, she was with a black dude, but she loves you, dude. What the fuck? Who? Sorry, excuse my language. I'd be pissed. But see, a man wants to know that a woman is for him all the way. And you don't want a woman that's into you now, but her heart's really somewhere else. Now, I understand it going the other way. Does that make sense? But anyway. But a white woman that's into black men and it don't work out can be a pick-me for white men. Be desperate to get a good white man that's going. And there are white women that are pick-me's out running around that don't open up their options, that love white men, but they're desperate to have a man. There are Asian women that are pick-me's. Okay, ladies, all ladies, put yourself first. Be the treasure. A man is just a man. Okay? Anyway, let's continue. Okay.
That she posts on social media, and she's like, well, just tell me what you need me to change.
Did I show this one? No, I don't think so. Okay.
Tell me what I'm doing, that's affecting you, and I could change that for you.
So to give a little context here, this young woman is talking about how she's been entertaining this man for quite some time, and they've never been able to make this a real relationship. They've never been able to commit to each other. They've just been kind of back and forth in each other's lives. And she's like, he says he doesn't like the things that she posts on social media, and she's like, well, just tell me what you need me to change and I'll do it. When you start making a man feel like you'll do anything to be with him, he will make you prove it.
Right. Oh, that's a good point. You hear what she said? When you make a man feel like you'll do anything to please him or change, he'll make you do it. He'll hold you to it. Okay? And I see this so much, black women. Well, what I got to do to change? How can I do better? You know, can I be more submissive? Can I do this for you? Can I do that? Okay, maybe I need to do better. I hear black women all the time on social media telling each other they need to do better, telling each other they need to correct themselves, telling each other they need to do this and that, and be there for that black man and just be everything. Okay? And that ain't totally bad. I mean, accountability is great, but the man has to have accountability for you too. Okay? If you look at it and say, well, I could do better, what is he doing that he could do better? Okay? I don't see a lot of black men saying, look, guys, hey, we need to do better for our women. We need to be good, better men. We need to work harder. Look, we need to get out of our ego and be more humble and love these black women because they're showing us love. Are there black men saying that? Maybe there are. Maybe I missed it. I don't see it as much, but I see black women willing to concede, willing to change, willing to do better. But when you look at what's going on, the black woman's doing more than any other woman. The black woman's suffering more than any other woman. The black woman's given more than any other woman. The black woman's sacrificing more than any other woman of any race. But yet, the marriage rates for black women are the lowest in America. Only 26% of black women are married, but yet they're the most humbled. They're the biggest group of women that are trying to change and trying to make it work. Black women are the biggest fans of black love, which that ain't really working. If the men would meet the women halfway, it'd be the most successful love in the planet. But why isn't it? And I'm speaking truth. I'm speaking facts. Look, I know as a white man, I've always known this, that I was never the black woman's preference. Not at all. Now, there's black women that love me. Don't get me wrong. I've had amazing relationships. I got a great wife. I'm blessed. I've been blessed by the black woman. But I was never first. And I understand that. Us as white men, we're not. And that's okay. And maybe it would be better if we got out of our fear and we approached black women and we just came with our heart and, just showed them love and respect. That's all I ever did. But anyway, black women, you're amazing. You're beautiful. I mean, I can look. I'm married to my wife forever. If anything, God forbid, ever happened, I would never get married again. That's it. It's done. For me, it's one wife, one life, one eternity. Okay? I'll just have to be alone, and that's okay. I have my standing, the love of my life, my blessing that God gave me. Okay? And I'm totally loyal to my wife. I belong to my wife. Everything I have, everything that I am belongs to my wife. And if she's not here with me, no other woman's going to have what my wife has. I'm totally committed to my wife. I'm totally loyal. I'm a Christian. You guys know this. In my Christian life, it's lacking. I'll be honest. But when it comes to love and marriage, I'm on point. When it comes to love for my wife, I'm on point. There's no other woman that will ever be on my pedestal but my wife. But anyway, let me stop. I'm going to get emotional and crazy.
He will treat you like limbo and try to see how low you can go. A woman with confidence will be like, take me as I am, all of it. And I don't have to change a thing. Now, if you like what you see, we can take it to the next level. But what you're not going to do is look me up and down and be like, I want to change this. You never let a man come in and make you feel like who you are and how you are is not enough. All that does is put all the power in his hands and takes it out of yours.
Right. And if the man truly loves you, he won't want to change you. If the man truly loves you, he embraces who you are. You know, I look, when I met my wife, I never wanted to change my wife. I love her the way she is. We've been married so many years, over 30 years. I don't want to change my wife now. I love who she is, her true self. But when a man tries to change you, ladies, that's a big red flag. If a man tries to change you, does he really love you? Or does he want to be something else? Maybe his heart is with some other type of woman. Just saying. You got to know the red flags. Don't fall into this pick-me compliance. You're better than that, ladies. Just saying. Okay, let's put up the copyright disclaimer. Fair use, fair use. Okay, we're using it for educational purposes, commentary, reporting, and just to have fun. Okay. All right. If you need to see the copyright disclaimer, just go to where I showed it, and you can read it all day long. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to review some of my friend Alexander's some content he made on Pygmishas. Okay. Let me go ahead and put this up here.
The 5 topics too. And so the first one, is low self-esteem. And I'm gonna have show videos of women of all races talking about that.
Okay, let me say this. You're talking about low self-esteem. Look, what will push you into pick-me compliance really fast is if you have low self-esteem. Okay? We've all as humans at one time or another had low self-esteem, right? But when you experience low self-esteem, you're vulnerable. Okay? And when somebody shows you a little love, or you'll cling to it because you don't expect it, because you're craving it. You're craving to have someone love you and to uplift you. Okay? And low self-esteem can come from many areas. A lot of times we have low self-esteem not because we're not worthy, not because we're not good people and got things going for us, but we just feel some kind of way inside. Somebody hurt us, or something wasn't going right our way, so our self-esteem will go down. Don't let your self-esteem control you. Okay? Just remember you're that beautiful person inside, and and you might need to be around family and friends that love you, that can uplift you. Okay? And a lot of narcissistic men will play off low self-esteem. They'll exploit that. Make you feel good for a little bit, like you're beautiful and special. And then a lot of times they'll take that and run you down too. Playing those games, messing with your self-esteem. Okay, I just wanted to put that out there.
And so here's the first one. And here we go.
Figure out if you are suffering from low self-esteem. Here we go. One of them is indecisiveness. Now, let me break this down because when I mean this had me in a chokehold, this had me in a chokehold. Indecisiveness is literally just another way of saying that you need confirmation from other people to make the decisions that you need to make for yourself. If you always calling that homegirl because you can't figure out, I'm talking about always. I'm not saying that you can't vent. I'm talking about literally calling because you don't know what decision to make. And you always need somebody else to help you make a decision. Always. You may have a little bit of self-esteem issues. All it's saying is that you don't trust yourself enough to make an accurate decision for yourself. That goes for your mom and daddy too. Your mom and daddy shouldn't be making decisions for you after a certain age. I think you should know what's best for you at this point. Procrastination will be number 2. Let me tell you how this had me in a chokehold. Procrastination is another sign of low self-esteem. Most people don't get started because they feel inadequate. They feel like their idea is stupid. They feel like it won't work, and it will cause them to procrastinate. It will cause them to continue to.
Let me stop this here. Oh my God. This woman is speaking truth, right? Self-esteem. Okay? To procrastinate. Feeling like you're not worthy. Well, look, we all fall into this. And I had some issues with this. I remember when I got married to my wife, when I went in the Army, right? I talk about my reading level, right? I'm surprised the trolls haven't came in and exploited that. When I graduated high school, I had a 6th grade reading level. Very embarrassing. Do you think that helped my self-esteem? No. I was ashamed. I felt bad, right? And I would procrastinate. I knew I needed to fix it. And I knew I needed to get tutors. And, in the beginning, I would procrastinate. I say, well, I'm going to go to school and I'm going to take this class because it helps you get college ready. And, I talk to a counselor and they say, I got to do this to get me up to speed, right? And I'd say, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'll get it next week. Let me just take a break. And then that next week came and I said, well, I'll wait a little longer. I kept procrastinating, kept like, well, I'll do it eventually. Until I was like, you know what? I can't keep doing this. And at a certain point, you got to just do it. Okay? But a lot of times we procrastinate because of our self-esteem. Okay? And that doesn't have nothing with dating. I was married to my wife that loves me and I love her and I was happy. But I had some insecurities. Okay? I'll be honest. I had some low self-esteem there because I know I was lacking when it came to education, reading, right? I knew I had to fix it, but it didn't go smooth in the beginning. It took me to struggle to just do it in the beginning. But with the love I had for my wife, I was able to push through it. I was able to be successful. But look, this insecurity, this low self-esteem, look, we all deal with it. And people that say, oh, I never had low self-esteem, They're damn liars. Okay? We all go through that. And most of us through time will overcome it, right? But it can be a big issue. Okay? And you don't want to have low, you got to be careful. If you have low self-esteem, you need to get help with that and build your confidence, especially with dating. Because ladies, if you have low self-esteem, there are men out there that will exploit your low self-esteem. Okay? And you don't want to be a victim. Just saying. Let's continue.
Push stuff back, right? I'm a recovering person from low self-esteem, and I'm talking about low. Okay, I'm talking about low. Because when you hear some of the stories, you're gonna judge me. That's fine. Got it. I'm gonna take my L's as it is what it is. But procrastination was one of the things that had me in a chokehold as well, because I would start and not finish. This is gonna be one, but both of them go together. Self-criticism and perfectionism, right? I believe that people who are perfectionists tend to self-critique themselves a lot more than people who don't, right? So that's why I said this number 3 is a little bit 2 in 1, but you get what I'm trying to say. Most perfectionists don't want to get anything wrong. They need everything, every I to be dotted, every T to be crossed. If they forget it, they start to critique themselves and beat themselves down on a regular basis. Listen, just because we can't hear it up here don't mean that it's not happening. So a lot of people who are perfectionists tend to be causing harm mentally to themselves because they are self-critiquing. That is a form of low self-esteem, because people who love themselves.
Let me stop it right there. She's absolutely right. And look, I've done that to myself, beat myself down. You need to do better. You just, and that can be kind of self-abuse too. Okay, you got to have self-accountability. Okay, but you can't beat yourself down too much, because then you start feeling like there's nothing you can do to fix it. Okay, and you get caught up into that. Okay, and sometimes when you're dealing with low self-esteem, you'll end up being more critical on yourself. Okay, and you can actually be abusing yourself, like she said. Always have accountability, but understand that as you're holding yourself accountable and you're trying to do better, those little victories you have, embrace those. Okay, embrace it. Don't think don't build a big ego like you're something special. I'm not saying that, but embrace it. Say, you know what? I accomplished this thing. Maybe it don't seem like a lot, but I did it. Okay, and move on. You got to have some love for yourself too. You know what I mean? Especially if you're dealing with low self-esteem, which we all do. And this young lady's talking about the low self-esteem she had, right? And you would think she's a beautiful young lady. Why would she have low self-esteem? I've seen I've seen successful, beautiful people, beautiful women that were just successful and beautiful, and you think, man, they have it all. But I've seen women like that with very low self-esteem. And you're like, why? How did that happen? We all deal with this stuff. Okay? But most of us will not admit it because our egos get in the way. I'm a leader. I get through anything. I don't have no problems. Really? I'm telling you, the most successful man or woman out there is the one that understands their flaws, their faults, and strives to make it better. But when you're striving to make it better, hold yourself accountable, but don't beat up yourself. You're human, okay? You need love. Every once in a while, you need somebody to lift you up. Okay? I'm just saying. Let's continue.
They allow themselves grace. They allow themselves to get some stuff wrong. That's just come with the territory. Listen, 2 things I ask for you to do. If you want more videos like this, if you want to see stuff like this, if you want to see content like this, click the plus sign.
All right. All right. That was good. But I like that video because she's talking about self-esteem. She's going, and sharing with people about her experience. How many people share their flaws with you? How many people will say, you know what, I was lacking here and I had to work hard? You don't see that much. You never see people, okay, I'm struggling with low self-esteem and this is what I do to get through. How many people talk about that? The only thing we hear on the internet, I'm high value, I got businesses, I'm doing wonderful, I'm making this money here. You know what? My love life is flowing. I'm just the man or the woman. And you know what? It's all a bunch of BS. Not saying these people ain't successful, but people are not going to come online and share their downfall, their flaws. Okay? And it's hard. For me to share my reading when I graduated high school and what I went through, that was tough because I don't want you to think of me as a failure. And I don't think I was a failure. When I was in school, I went to an inner city school that sucked and I was lazy. And you add all that in, but a lot of it's my fault. But I don't want to share that with you guys. I want to share the good things in my life. I want to share my marriage with my wife, Sandy. That's been awesome forever. I want to share with you my military career, the things I've done there that, I don't want to share with you my flaws, but I think we have to at times. We need to be down to earth and say, you know what? And when I share the stuff I struggle with, it might help somebody out there that has the same struggle. But if I tell you I'm an amazing guy and I'm wonderful all the time, I'm not being honest with myself. I'm human. I'm flawed. I tell you I'm a Christian. I love the Lord. Jesus is my Savior. Yes. But am I a great Christian? No, not even close. I need to do better. But there are some things in my life that I do good on. My love, my marriage. I've done good on that end. But there's some things that I have trouble with. And we're human. And a lot of times, a lot of women, they realize, look, they're human. And they'll hold themselves accountable, but they'll go hard on themselves. They'll start abusing themselves because they're holding themselves so much accountable. Look, hold yourself accountable, but have those little victories, embrace it. You know what I mean? You need some positive motivation too. Okay? You're not going to be perfect overnight. It takes time. But do not give in. Don't think that you're not good enough. Okay? Don't think you got to settle for a man that's just average if you have high standards. And nothing wrong with average, but what I'm saying is If you're above average, why are you going to be with average? I mean, I grew up in a lower middle class neighborhood, and and I think that helped me being humbled that I didn't think I was better than other people, and that's a blessing, you know. But anyway, yeah, I could be humbled, but can that hurt me to be humbled too? If I beat myself up because of my flaws, then I don't think I'm worthy for nobody. And then guess what? Maybe I'll settle for someone that don't have the heart that I do. I mean, I'm just saying. Now I'm just using this in general. But a lot of people think that way. They say, well, and a lot of women do this because I think a lot of times women are harder on themselves than us men, to where they'll say, okay, this guy, I'm not really into him. The guy I really want, he deserves better than me, right? A lot of women say that. And they'll push that guy aside that they really love because they don't think they deserve that guy. And they'll settle for less because they think that's what they deserve. Then they end up with pick-me compliance. Date down, marry down, put the man first, worship the man, and then you forget about your feelings, your goals, what you want in life. Anyway, okay, I'm talking too much. But seriously, that's a lot of things that ends up in the pick-me compliance, right? You're settling for less because you think you're less. You're dating down because you don't think you deserve to date up. You're marrying down because you don't think you deserve better. They play on that. And let me tell you, if you date or marry down, your relationship will never work because that's not who you really want to be with. Just saying. Okay, let me show a couple more videos.
This way, and I'm glad that I heard you explain it, especially for women in the church. They will pray for a husband, and then their next step is to just kind of say, okay, God, if it's for me, you will make it happen. I never thought of it this way, and I'm glad that I heard you explain it, especially for women in the church. They will pray for a husband, and then their next step is to just kind of say, okay, God, if it's for me, you will make it happen. What's for me is for me. And you're saying that you don't believe in the idea of, oh, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Yes, I think it's a trap thinking if you have no work behind that. I can't say to God, what's meant to be will be, my husband will find me, without putting myself in a position to be found. I think there's still an expectation by God to make sure that you're putting yourself in that position. Fate can only do so much. That's where we're very much trapped when it comes to women that are avoiding appearing desperate by putting yourself out there, by putting yourself in a position to be found. They think to themselves, oh, it's pick me behavior, it's pick me behavior. But I just don't think that it is, because I think in some ways we challenge men to be the best versions of themselves. I've always pushed my friends, especially as Black women, our chances, marriage, the stat. I always believe that we kind of have to go a little bit harder and take that extra step when it comes to finding our life partner. And
I've really come to understand that when you pray and you ask for things and it's within God's will, He will give it to you, but He's not going to just snap His fingers and then it's right there at your doorstep. Right. He'll give you the tools to make sure that you can do it for yourself.
Absolutely right. And don't get caught up in that. I see a lot of women fall for that. They say, well, she'll pray for a husband and it's God's will. God will provide, right? But then she don't do nothing. And that's what she's talking about. Do not, okay, have faith, believe in God. I do. And that's a good thing. But if you're not putting in the work, God ain't going to bless you. Let me tell you something about God. He don't just like she said, snap his fingers and bam, you got what you want. God wants you to be part of your blessing. You got to put in the work. Faith without works is dead. So if you pray for a good wife, good husband, and you sit on your butt and don't go where they're at, you don't put in the work, it ain't going to happen. Okay? Faith without works is dead. Meaning, if you don't try, it ain't going to work for you. You can't sit on your couch and pray and go to the church and think that God's just going to just throw you a husband, ladies. It don't work that way. You got to put in the work. And that's all of us as people. We don't just pray for things and they happen. We got to work too. And that's a good point. There are a lot of pick-me's in the church. There are a lot of pick-me's want to have a husband, live their life biblically, but they're pick-me's because they don't want to put in the work. They want to pray to God and expect God to make it all happen for them. And if you study the Bible, it's all about faith, but work too. Faith without works is dead. Why does it say that? That means if you're not working for it, it ain't going to happen. A lot of single women are at church praying for that husband. A lot of times it takes several years when they're wasting time because they think that all they got to do is pray and not put in the work. Okay, and what I mean by that is the men you want to date, you got to be where they're at. Okay? You got to let them know you're there. Us as men, we're dumb, really. I mean, I look, if women ain't showing us love, we're just a lot of times not even thinking about it. If we don't catch their eye, we're not. And a lot of us white men that love black women, we're not just saying, oh my God, there's a black woman. We'll just run to her because we're attracted to her. It don't work that way. And our cultures are so different that black women, and I'm going into interracial dating, but I just want to make this point. A lot of black women think that white men are either not interested in them, or they're too afraid, or they just want to be your friend. And it's because the way we approach women is different the way black men approach women, right? And I've always told white men, if you love black women, go up to her, talk to her, take your shot. Just let her know right off the bat. Don't waste time. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't just try to be her friend, and just let her know you're attracted to her. Because a lot of times the black man will just approach. But us white guys, we're roundabout. We'll get to know them, feel our way through. Nothing wrong with that. It's just a different way of approaching. And when you open up your options to black women, they don't see things the way white people do. They might think you just want to be her buddy. You know what I mean? She might think you're just trying to be a nice guy. You might miss out on that opportunity by... Anyway, how did I get into that from a pick-me show? From talking about pick-me's. Okay. But let me put this video. And this young lady talks about white men loving black women, but because of racist family members and this stuff, I'm going to break this down because I think the way she's looking at it is totally wrong. It's a misconception. But I think she believes in what she's saying. Okay? And look, the way to get out of being a pick me, open up your options. Not saying you have to take that option. But if you have more options, you're not desperate for the little options in the box, right? Okay, let me play this. Listen real close. It's kind of low, guys.
I've said a few that want to be with a black woman, and I'm not.
Okay, listen really closely because there's noise in the background, but she's talking about black women. Some of these white, Hispanic, Indian men really want you. Okay.
There are a few white men, I said a few, that want to be with a black woman, and I'm not talking about sexually, I'm talking about it all. They want to build with y'all, but they care about what their racist family thinks, about their career, they care about their status, they married to somebody they don't even want to be with, but they want to be with a black woman. They haven't met a black woman before where fell in love, and then he couldn't build with her because he cared about what his family thinks. So trust me, they out here wanting us, but they're just too weak because they care about what others think. Little boy energy.
What do you think about that? She said there's white men out there that want to be with black women. It's not just a lustful sexual thing. They want to build with you. But they don't want to. They're afraid what their racist family members will think. Part of this is true, but part of it's not. Okay, most white families are not racist. Most white people aren't racist. And it's not really about that. A lot of times, white men that want to be with black women don't approach black women because they feel black women do not like them. They feel that black women think they're racist. They think that black women think they're fetishizers. They've been hearing all this stuff. I hear it when I talk to white men or non-black men that love black women. They say they don't like us. They just want to be with a black man. They think we're all racist. They think we're hateful. They think we're lustful. They think we're just out to fetishize them. That's really what's going on. It's not that they care about what a racist family member thinks. That shit is left. That was back in maybe the 60s or 50s. That's gone. No white people give a damn about it in a racial relationship. If that's what you want. 95% of white people will accept that and be okay with it. But there's a misconception. Why is it racism that's holding them apart? It's not that at all. It's the fear of the black woman accepting the white man. Let's be honest. Let's be truthful. It's not white men that's stopping the swirl from happening. It's black women. Okay? It's black women that's stopping it. Now, I think it's a lot of times it's black women that are worried about what their black family members, their pro-black family members will think. That you brought a white boy home, that this white guy don't understand your struggle. This white guy, he might have some racist family members. This white guy, he might be lusting after. That's really what it is. It's not about the white racist family member. I'm being truthful. I believe that. I think this is all totally wrong. Now, can there be a white man that loves a black woman that has racist white family members and worried? Yeah, sure. That's a thing. But it's not the majority. Okay, back in the day, yeah, I would agree with that. Today, no. Too many people are wanting to open up their options. It's black women that hold the key. It's black women that, when it comes to open up options, it's black women that hold the key. If black women would open up their options to white men, it would happen in droves. It's black women that are stopping it. It's not white men. It's not the racist white family member. I believe that. From what I've seen, come on. There's too many white men that would love to be in a relationship with a black woman. They're all over the place. But I understand why black women don't open up as easy, because they've been beat down. They've been told that the white man's a racist, most racist person on the planet, and just naturally evil, and a fetishizer, and just going, well, heck, if you grew up as a black woman, of course you're going to be scared of white men, because you've been told they're the devil. I don't blame black women for that. That's how they've been conditioned. She's got it wrong. She really does. Look. Now, certain situations she's right, but no. There are white men, a lot of white men that want to be with black women. No. I'm telling you. And look, when I open up my options, I always thought black women, they don't like us. But I love black women so much, I ain't going to give up. But I'm not like everybody else. I'm different. I know what I want, and I'm going to try. I'm going to go for it. Even if it makes me look stupid and gets me kicked to the curb. Because I know once I accomplish my mission, I'm going to be blessed. But she's saying it's like little boy energy. A lot of white men have the little boy energy. I agree with her on that. But it's not all. There's a lot of white men that will just go for it. Don't be caught up. But anyway. But I respect what she had to say. I mean, I think she believes it. I don't agree with it. I think it's a misconception that a lot of black people think that white people are they're just racism all around us, and it's not that way at all. I mean, look at what's going on in social media. Look at these gingers, the redheaded white people. Now that black people say they're black, they're like ecstatic and excited. Oh, thank you, black people. I thanks for accepting me. And these people freaking mean it. And the truth be told, if black people went out and said, okay, white people with blonde hair are black, there'd be blonde-headed white people. Oh, they'd be excited. If you said white people with black hair are black, they would be excited. People, look, what you see, your perception is not reality. Really, there are white people out there all over the place that are ready to come together with black people and want that to happen. But a lot of black people are angry and want revenge because of what happened in the past and want to take it out on white people today for slavery. And look, I just think as white people, really, we're not evil. We really, most of us want to come together with you. I'm serious. But anyway, but nobody's going to believe that, but okay. Anyway, but that's okay. But I'm telling you the truth. I am. It's not just my feelings. Okay. All right, let's stop there. The thing about it is, ladies, don't be a pick-me. Put yourself first. Okay? It's very easy to fall into pick-me compliance. Because why, ladies? Because you got a big heart. Okay? You want to satisfy the man you're with. There's some low self-esteem there. Because society has beat you down, black women, and put a false negative image on you. Okay? And I get it. It takes its toll. And then when you felt love, then you really open up. And you might be opening up to the wrong guy. Don't get caught up in pick-me compliance. Ladies, you're first class. Be that beautiful princess you are. But make sure you're with a man that deserves you. Okay? That's my opinion on that. Okay, ladies, you're too beautiful to be a pick-me. You're too beautiful to settle for less. Make the man get to your level. Don't go to his level. Okay, yeah, please give a thumbs up. Okay, next. I'm going to show you some comments I get. Okay? I'm going to show you how much people show me love. They love the Roadrunner, don't they? Some do, some don't. Let me put this comment. This guy here, okay, he don't agree with my channel. And he put this comment on my video. It says, take it from a young man. You are a race traitor. And blacks need each other too. This is wicked. You see that? Oh, sorry. This guy's calling me a race traitor. Okay, and it's wicked what I'm doing. And black people need each other, so I guess I should just go somewhere so black people could be with each other. And I'm a race traitor. And you know, I've gotten comments like this a lot. And I think this guy is, I think he's like a white nationalist type dude. Like a white supremacist. And look, white, and I know he's got a Hispanic name, but there are white supremacists. There are Hispanic white supremacists. They're out there. But the way he worded that is, I'm a race traitor. I'm awful. And black people need each other. So what he's saying is, you need to stay where you're at, white man. You're a race traitor. You don't need to be with a black woman. And black people need each other, meaning they don't need white people. I mean, you can read into this. This is exactly what he's saying. Whenever I know the type of people that comment. Okay, I know who they are. A black man wouldn't say this. He would say, you simp punk bitch, or something crazy. But this guy, he's like a race traitor. It's about race. Or I'll get comments like, I've had people tell me that I'm destroying the white race, that I'm committing racial genocide because I procreate with a black woman. You know, and I hear that. These comments they don't happen all the time. It's kind of rare. Usually the most attacks I get is from black men because, you know, I read my little stats and it gets them all crazy. But yeah. So this dude, he just don't like me being with a black woman. And I think he's more focused on racial supremacy. But he'll say it in a way like, oh, white people be with white people, black people be with black people. You know, make it sound like, oh, we love people. We just got to be separated. But that's really what's destroying us, our separation. You know. But anyway, here's another comment. And somebody had the great idea that I need to talk more about sex. Okay, that's not the one I want. Let's see. Okay. All right. Let me take my thing off here so you can read it fully. Okay. Okay. From Tragedy Child 87. Brent, your page gave me inspiration to speak more on behalf of white men, black women, attraction, and relationships. Okay, that sounds great. I'm glad I inspired you. However, okay, here's a however. However, I think you should speak more on sex. Okay, I guess I got to talk more about sex and what white men love about them. Okay. You should say you're down for black women and then say you don't see race. We absolutely see race when we make ourselves exclusively to black women. You should feel free and confident to tell the ladies that we love. Okay, so I think what he's saying is he's inspired, you know, on my page. But however, I need to speak more about sex. Why do I got to talk about sex? Number one, why would I do that? Okay, the only one I'm going to talk about sex is my wife. No other woman I'm going to talk about sex with. The only time I mention sex is I'll say, ladies, you should wait till you're married. Okay, that's as far as I go, right? Why do I talk about sex with, look, that sex is something between a wife and husband. Okay? Why do I need to talk about it? I think maybe he just wants me to talk about sex with black women, white men. I'm not that kind of channel. I love black women, I do. And I want to see more black women, white men. I'm all for it. I love that. But I don't want a freak fest over here, okay? I don't want an internet freak off type interracial lust fest. When you say I got to talk more about sex, I cringe. Because no, I don't. Okay? All right. And then he's saying what white men love about. I always say what white men love about black women. I always talk about that. I always say what we love about black women is they have a big heart. Black women are amazing. They're nurturing. You know, I talk about that. Yeah. I love a black woman's character. I love how black women have a can-do attitude, right? That I love how a lot of black women are resilient. I love that. Okay. You say you're down for black women. Yeah, I do. And then you say you don't see race. Well, okay, there's some confusion there. Okay, I do love black women. I know if a woman's black or not. Okay. When I say I think what he's getting to when he says I don't see race is because I believe people are one race. I believe we're all one race. Yeah, we're black, we're white, we're brown, we're yellow, we're red, and that's wonderful and beautiful. But we're all the human race. That's what I mean. Okay? I do know what black women are. I do see that. But I believe we're the human race. Okay? And I do have favor towards black women because black women have been a blessing to me and have shown me love and have been instrumental in my life. Okay? Black women, I have a big heart for black women. I just do. Okay? That's what. Okay. Saying without, but you don't see race. We absolutely see race when we make ourselves. Okay. I can say we're the human race and have a preference for black women. That's really what it is. Okay. I don't know what he's getting at. I guess I should say we're multiple races. I don't believe that. There are black and white people. We're people. We should feel free and confident to tell the ladies what we love. Yeah, if it's respectful. I mean, look, if you tell a black woman you love, what I love about black women, they're educated, they're loving, they're loyal, and that's great. But if you say you love having sex with them, that's creepy. Okay? So that was a weird thing. I don't know if he meant what he said or if he was somebody trying to derail my show to get me talking about sex. So people say, "See, he's a fetishizer. He's talking about sex." I just that was weird. I'm not going to talk about sex. That's between a man and woman that are in love. That ain't my business. And I'm not going to share sexual experience with a black woman. It's disrespectful and it's wrong. Okay? I'm not going to disrespect my wife by talking about sex with in front of black women, white men. That's just not right. Okay. All right, but with that, then this guy got checked. Okay. She was saying, she was telling him that why would he talk about sex? That's, a dusty thing. And this guy replied, I'm not trying to set him up at all because young lady felt he was trying to set me up. I think his channel is coming from a good place, but he needs to collect his thoughts. When I said sex, it was more relating to intimacy. Okay. What intimacy is between two people anyway. Okay. General authenticity. It's important for me. I hate when both men and women are on the fence. I just say I want him to say, yes, I like dark skin instead of saying all this backpedaling crap. Okay. But what's backpedaling what I say? I love dark-skinned black women. Maybe because I said that I didn't really look at black women from light skin to dark skin. And do you want me to be colorist and say, well, I prefer dark skin? And I just see black women as black women. I don't put it on. And people say, well, all the women you're with were dark skinned that you dated. Well, maybe so, but it wasn't that I was just looking at shades of black women. I just love black women. And maybe the dark-skinned black women were more open to date me. Look, I don't know. I never really thought about it. It's just black women are a blessing to me. I don't think anything about my show is backpedaling at all. If you see my show, I love black women. Black women are my preference. I'm married to a black woman. I've been married for 31 years. And, people say they get tired of me saying how long I've been married to my wife. People say they get tired of me saying I love black women. But I do. There ain't no backpedaling in that. I don't know what this dude's talking about. But okay. I think it was a troll trying to derail my show is what I think. Because it made no sense. Why am I going to talk about sex? That's not... I don't know. Maybe he's looking for a hookup swirler channel where they can talk freely about sex and the kinky stuff they like to do and, fetishize each other. I don't know. But that's not my channel. I'm not, no. The only time I talk about bedroom things is with my wife. And I don't share that with other people. No. Why do we got to talk about sex to show love for each other? That's just stupid. Anyway, that just irritated me. That whole thing, I was like, no, I'm not going. But see, that's a way to derail me. I say, okay, well, maybe I should talk a little bit. Okay, the things that white men love about, in the bedroom with the black woman, and then it'd be all creepy and no, that's just disrespectful. And how can I say I'm a Christian talking about that? No, 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 no. How can I say I truly love black women if I want to come up here and talk about having sex with? That's just stupid. That's insulting. That comment, yeah. No, that dude, he knows where he can go. I don't know what this dude's looking for. Anyway. All right. Right now, guys. Okay. I got some nominees for the Beta Dumpling Hall of Fame. Okay. And I chose to do this at the end of the show. Okay. And whenever I induct someone in the Beta Dumpling Hall of Fame, it's someone that's harassed me or my wife or people I love. It's usually people that hate seeing black women and white men together. That truly go above and beyond when it comes to dust. Okay. All right. The first person I'm going to induct in the Hall of Fame is someone I call that has shown me hate and that has gone in on me and my wife in the past, that has talked about my children, my sons and my daughters, and let me know they're black because I got a black wife. And I don't understand that. Black people are strange with this. Some will say, well, because I have biracial children, they're black. And, once you procreate with a black person, the children are black. Okay. And then some say, no, they're not black, they're biracial. So you get both ends. I just say they're both black and white, right? Because they are. But this dude had to let me know they're black. I guess he thought it, and I don't care. I mean, black, white, we just put names on people. That just, anyway. But this dude would make up lies about my family, say stuff about my daughters and stuff. And it was just so hateful. And, of course he had, support from pygmies that loved, that hate my channel. And, this dude has left the social media scene for a while. I think he stiffed these ladies for some money. I don't know if he did or not. I just got a belief he did because he just left out of the blue. But anyway, I will not use the real names. The names have been changed to protect the guilty. Okay? I'm just going to say that. Okay. And you might know this dude. You might not know him. Some people are going to know who I'm talking about. Okay? And this guy, he's showing me hate, and his pygmies have too. All right, and this is the introduction to the Dusty Dumpling Hall of Fame, Coin Purse Boy, and his three loyal pygmies, the Dustettes. Okay, Purse Boy has he used to have a YouTube channel, then a Rumble, and he go around and is about making money. Building his coin purse. And, where dust goes, the pygmies will follow. And I want to introduce Coin Purse Boy, but it would be fitting to put his three sidekick pygmies, the Dustettes, that have backed him financially, emotionally, and propelling the dust throughout the social media aspect. And It's a great dishonor to recognize you and enshrine you in the Dusty Dumpling Hall of Fame, where your dust will live forever. Congratulations, Coin Purse Boy and the Dustettes. You earned it. You're in the Dusty Dumpling Hall of Fame. It's not easy to do, okay? It's not easy to get there, but you did it, okay? Hopefully, I don't know what you're doing out there. Maybe you repented for what you did, and if I find that out and you made it right with God and you give me and my wife an apology and my children, I will forgive you, and I will take you off the Dusty Dumpling Hall of Fame. The Dustettes too. Apologies there. But until then, you're enshrined in the Dusty Dumpling Hall of Fame. Congratulations. Okay. All right. That's my first nominee. Okay. And it took a while for me to bring it up, but they earned it. They're dusty, and look, we got to recognize the dust. Okay. Next group is a band of white supremacists that hate my content and think I'm a sellout, a race traitor, that I'm creating racial genocide within my channel and promoting others to do the same because they think we're different races, which we're the human race. So ain't no genocide going on here, right? Look, I just have love for black women because they're beautiful and amazing. But this Dusty Dumpling combo, okay, and like I said, the name's been changed to protect the guilty. Okay, and next nominee is Frank Bacon in the Karen Crash Out Band. Okay, and this represents white supremacist dude. That's saying his real name. I just, to protect the guilty. Okay, he really thought I was committing genocide, should stay with the right white race, which he thinks is the right race for me. And the three Karens here have expressed hate towards me too, saying I'm a disgrace to my race, my heritage, and the European racial group that I abandoned and I, created such a horrible thing. But look, I love black women. My wife's a black woman. I have black children and, biracial children and grandchildren. So, so you don't like it, that's your problem. So Frank Bacon and the Karen Crash Out Band, congratulations. You've been enshrined in the Dusty Dumpling Hall of Fame. This dishonor and the hate and the emotional stupidity that you have shown, not just to me, my family, but the whole world. Frank Bacon and the Karen Crash Out Band, congratulations. Like I said, with the other Dusty Dumpling members, if you repent, you get right. You go away from your error ways, I will drop you from the Dusty Dumpling Hall of Fame. But as long as you're evil, hateful, and keep pushing forward, you're going to be enshrined in dust. But congratulations. Welcome to the Dusty Dumpling Hall of Fame. Let's give a round of applause to Frank Bacon and the Karen Crash Out Band. Real white supremacists here. Okay. All right. 2 inductees. I said 2. There's actually 3, guys. Oh my God, it's getting good, I just, hey. you know. But this next one, this next inductee, okay, this guy, oh my God. This dude has been making videos on me for 2 years, almost 2 years. I've never responded to him. I've ignored him. He's part of the team that's trying to destroy my channel that don't like me. But he's like at the bottom of the barrel of that team. He's really a pest. He's a nuisance, you might say. You know, can't really hurt you, but you just like get irritated. Okay, and he's made some very harsh allegations towards me. And in the past, he's talked about my wife. You know, I don't know why these Dusties got to attack an innocent woman, my wife, that's never showed nobody hate or nothing. But that's what they do. They're just full of dust. Okay. And this guy, all right, it's been overdue. He's earned his way to the Dusty Dumpling Hall of Fame long ago. Okay. He spews lies, fairy tales. He's really, you really can't. I don't think there's any truth to what he says, because when you research him, it's the total opposite. But he lives in a fantasy life, and he is, part of a fairy tale. Okay, he's he's earned the name of Leprechaun. Okay, and this is him. Okay, his name, he's a Dusty Stooge 912, the flunky. Okay, this guy has been making videos on me forever, and he's kind of weird because he says he don't know who I am, but he makes videos about me. He's called me racist several times. Okay, like I said, in the past, he's went in on me and my wife. We don't know this clown. I just know he's not for the Swirl to investment. Okay, and over on his team, they've kind of punked him out. He has no character. He's like a flunky. He's a stooge, Dusty Stooge. That's what I call him. He's a leprechaun flunky. He's one of those guys that desperate to be part of the team, but they kick him to the curb. But they kind of accepted him back in because they hate me so much. So they brought him in to help out, to harass me. The people that, I care about, he harasses them too. Okay. And this is what he looks like. He looks like a little leprechaun. Okay. And what really made me mad is he made this post. Okay. If he didn't do this, I'd just keep ignoring him. Right. He put this post on his Rumble account. Okay. It says he was about to drop the N-bomb. Roadrunner 89 says N-word almost. I don't know about you. You either say it or you don't. Okay? You could look at the video. I never said it. It wasn't even close. I got angry and, because I was being attacked, both me and my family. So I got angry at this pro-black group, which I call them pro-black idiots, okay? But I said the N-word, and then he said almost. So I'm thinking, how do you almost do something? Either you do it or you don't. Okay? That's what really made me, because it's slander is what it is. I don't use that word. I never have, never will. But this dumbass had to go out and make that video. I guess he want people to think, Oh, he was about to say it. I guess because I get mad, I'm going to drop the N-bomb. Okay? I mean, this dude is making videos about me, spewing lies and everything. Okay? And also, this guy, not only that, he's one of these guys that was a war hero, believe it or not. Okay? He told people he went to Iraq, right? And got shot. Well, he couldn't tell anybody what part of Iraq he was at. Okay? But how do you get deployed in a combat? How are you part of a combat deployment, get shot, and don't know where you're at? Well, the thing of it is, he never went there. He's a pretend soldier, trying to make people think he's something he's not. But I tell you, I've been to Iraq 3 times. 3 times, Dusty Stooge. How many times you been to Iraq, Dusty Stooge? I'll tell you where I've been. I've been to Al-Assad Air Base. I've been to Fob Spiker. I've been to Cop North, close to the Iraqi-Syrian border. I've been to Ramadi. You heard of Ramadi? You know what went on there? Okay. I spent 3 tours in Iraq. One of my tours was 18 months. Okay. I never got shot, thank God, but I did develop asthma because of the dust, the burn pits. I've actually been there. I could show you my DD-214 that shows where I've been, the awards I got. I don't have to lie to nobody, okay? But you do, because you're one of these almost characters. Like I said the N-word almost, but to you, almost is reality, right? Just like you almost had a wife. You almost had a girlfriend. And your wife and girlfriends have all been photoshopped, right? Your own people have held you accountable. Your own people have, put it on you of all the stuff, all the lies you've pushed forward. You're a liar. Okay? I never said nothing to you till tonight. But you ever slander me in any way, I'm coming for you legally. Okay? That almost saved your ass. Okay? You don't make no false comments. Okay? And that video you used, it's actually my material. I did not authorize you to use it. Okay? It's copyrighted. Knowing your channel is so struggling, all you can do is use my material to build your channel. Because nobody's really listening to you unless you're trolling. But people love the drama, don't they? But go back, look. First thing you need to do, right? If you want to accomplish these great things that you lied about, number 1, get out of your mama's home, your mama's house, because that's where you're still at. Okay? Get out of there. Get you a job. Work hard. Because I guarantee I make 3 times what you make. In fact, I pay more taxes than your income. I'm pretty confident that that happens. Yeah. And I'm not going to tell you what I made, but I paid $38,000 in taxes, so I do pretty well. You can't compete with me, Dusty Stooge. You're just so funky. Okay? I have a family. I have a legacy. I have military service that I actually did. Okay? I retired from the Army. I don't have to lie about being somewhere I didn't be. Okay? And I don't have to lie about being a soldier. I was actually a soldier for 20 years. Okay? But you're all about lies. You're a Dusty Stooge. You are a flunky. You are a disgrace. Not just over here, but even to your own team. And they only depend on you to harass me and people, other people that make content you don't like. You're just there to harass. You're like, you know what? A box of toilet tissue. Okay? You're needed at the time, but once the mess is cleaned up, you're discarded. And that's what's going to happen to you. Okay? So stop harassing people. Stop making false accusations. I never said the N-word. Okay? There wasn't even anything said close to it. And you need to get out of the almost and start doing things instead of almost. You almost had a girlfriend. You almost had a wife. You got pictures of everybody. You know? You make screenshots and fairy tales. And here you are a fairy, and I'm going to give you the rank of ferry boat captain because you're all about the fairy tale. So when you go out to the river in your boat, you want to fire up the ferry, go right ahead because that's what you are. You're a ferry boat captain. You're about fairy tales. Okay? I'm just saying. But congratulations, ferry boat captain. You've been inducted in the Dusty Dumpling Hall of Fame. And like I said about others, you can repent, you can apologize, and that's the only way you come off the Dusty Dumpling Hall of Fame. You need to apologize to me and my wife, okay? We did nothing to you, all right? But anyway, you're been inducted to the Dusty Dumpling Hall of Fame. Congratulations, you Dusty Stooge flunky. That's what you are. All right, flunky. You know, you need to sit your ass down, get your Photoshop pictures and your bag of sock puppets, and leave everybody alone. You live your life. Congratulations. You've been inducted. The Dusty Stooge, the flunky. All right. Anyway, that concludes our ceremony, the Dusty Dumpling Hall of Fame. Okay? And look, I don't put just anybody in there. These are extreme dusty idiots. Okay? These are people that never stop showing hate, never stop attacking. Their whole purpose is to destroy people that have disagreements with them, that don't think like them. Okay? That's their purpose. And if you're ever going to accuse me of saying the N-word, you better have the damn evidence. This almost bullshit don't fly. Okay? You can't get somebody on what you think they might do or thinking or almost did. You know, it's like his military service. Lying about that. He almost did it. He almost served. He almost got a job. Almost got a girlfriend. Almost. Maybe I should call him almost. Yeah, I never said the N-word. I never did. Look, that's not in my vocabulary. These people, they would love me to slip and say the N-word so they can get me. That's their dream. But you don't slip on a word you don't use. Okay? I don't use that word. I've never been taught to use that word. I've never been allowed to use that word. None of my family used that word. Okay? So it's not a thing over here to use that word. You know. But it pisses me off that he'd make a video even implying that. You know, it's slandering away. Even though he said almost, he almost did it. He almost, which is stupid in itself. That would be like me. Hey, I need to arrest you. Like, let's say I'm a police officer. I need to arrest you because you almost stole those items. Can we charge somebody with almost? So stupid. But anyway, guys. But that's what I deal with. That's the hate I get. I get hate from, comments, but I got people actually going in, flagging my content repeatedly. I've reported it though. They know they're coming for me. They know it. But look, if you're put in my Hall of Fame, that means you have attacked me. And look, I don't ever go in on anybody unless they attack me and my family. Okay? I don't do it. There's channels out there I don't like. I don't believe in. But that's their business. That's their free speech. As long as they don't go attacking people personally. That's the only problem I have. These people have attacked me personally because they don't believe like I do. And this joker don't even know me. But, he wants to be on the bandwagon of his little team. Take out the Roadrunner. But anyway. But beyond that, hey, the Hall of Fame's done for tonight. It was a while since I did the Dusty Dumpling Hall of Fame. But these jokers I recently entered, they deserve it. They're all about the harassment. But anyway, enough of that. I just want to say to you guys, ladies, don't submit to pick me compliance, okay? Fly first class. You are first class, ladies. Don't let nobody shame you, okay? Your standards are your standards. You are the treasure. You are the prize, okay? And please, don't settle for less. Okay? Was that your cat would say it before I would? Yeah, I don't. It was a cheap. It was a cheap trick to get people to believe I use that word. It was just to get under my skin. It's one of those things. I never heard you say it, but I know you say it. I know you were thinking it. I know it. Like, okay, whatever. But anyway. But I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you, Alex, for your material. And guys, go check out Alexander Brandon's channel. Okay? Alexander's a good guy. Okay? I've known this man ever since I started. Okay? He's always been good. He's never, he expresses love for black women. He's never been disrespectful. He's always been, a good man. And like I said, I call Alexander the diamond in the rough. That's the name I've given him because he's a good man. He has character. He has accountability. And support his channel. He's a good man. He puts his heart into YouTube. He does. And he always has the ladies' back. And look, he's been attacked several times from haters. Okay. And the guys, some of the people I talk about that go in on me, go in on him too. Okay. There's a certain amount of us that we get attacked. And Alexander's always been on the front lines to protect black women. He's always been there. Okay? He's always stood up for black women, protected black women's image. Okay? Which we all should. Okay? Protecting black women is not only the black man's responsibility, it's the white man's responsibility too. The Asian man. It's all men's responsibility. We need to protect black women, all men. Okay? And if we're not protecting black women, we're not right. We're not doing what God wants us to do. Now, don't come for me, because I want to protect all women, not just black women. But black women are the most unprotected, most disrespected. Okay? Black women go through the most abuse than any other women on the planet. Okay? We need to get it right. And I believe in God, and I believe God's judgment is coming upon us. If we don't get it right and protect these amazing women, we're going to be in trouble. Okay? I do believe that. I'm not just saying it. We need to do right by black women. Whether you date them or marry them, whether you even know them, you need to do right by them. Okay? But I'm telling you, the amazing thing about black women is most black women, you show them love and respect, they're going to give it back to you. And they're going to give you more than you give them. That's how amazing black women are. Black women are the most beautiful women on the earth. Both physically, emotionally, spiritually, in all areas. My preference has always been the black woman. And I don't care if I'm not the preference. I just know the best option is a black woman. And I mean that. Well, look at my life. I say I love black women. I've been married to a black woman for over 31 years. The 19th, Wednesday will be 31 years officially. Okay. And I don't know why I got such an awesome wife. I don't deserve her. I don't. I'm truly blessed. But the beauty I see in my wife, I see a lot of the same characteristics in black women. Black women have been a blessing to me my whole life. From a child to a man. That's how much impact you have, ladies. Black women, you don't know how much impact you have on people. You don't know. But embrace who you are. You are first class. Don't be a pick-me. Okay? Put yourself first. And if a man tries to approach you, he better deserve you. Okay? But anyway, ladies, gentlemen, thank you for watching tonight. Okay? I do have enemies out there. I do have people out there trying to shut my channel down. I do have people that have attacked and harassed me ever since I've been on YouTube. Okay? And, I was at a point where I was like, is it worth it? I mean, it is worth it, but when it leads to my wife, then that's like, And all I wanted to do was just bring my wife up here and just show you guys, show the world that we found love and we're not the same. And, I wanted people to understand that there are white men that love black women, that actually live the life, and not just on YouTube saying good things about black women, but actually living it. You know? You know? And that's all I wanted to do, was promote interracial relationships, and share my story and my life, and how even though people were against my marriage, it worked. In my family, I have the longest lasting marriage. That means something. That shows I got a good wife. I did right. I chose right. And I just wanted to share that. I wanted people to know that they can find love in someone that don't look like them. And I want to tell the world my experience with black women, how amazing black women have been in my life, how they've been instrumental in my life, and have helped me along the way. You don't even know. But no one will know if I don't tell my story. No one will know. But I feel it's necessary to tell the story, to tell the truth. The best way you can uplift black women is just tell the truth. Get rid of those stereotypes and just tell the truth on the black woman you know. If I did a report on all the black women I know, a truthful report on them, and people have seen that instead of the what's in the media and the stereotypes, they would truly see the blessing in the black woman. But a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know what black women are like. And so many people are afraid to get to know the black woman. Like that woman said, that there are a lot of white men that want to be with black women. They're out there. And it's not because they got a racist family member they're afraid of offending. Okay? That might be a few cases of that, but that's not the majority. A lot of them are just scared. They just don't think they have a chance. And it's like black women are like that beautiful woman, right? That beautiful woman let's say at the dance club, right? Men won't approach the real beautiful woman because they don't think they have a chance because she's so beautiful. So they go for the average woman because they think, oh, well, I'm average, she average. I go for that, right? Because it's the fear of approaching the beautiful woman. That's how it is with the black woman. It's the fear of the rejection. It's the fear that she won't accept you because the men that want to be with the black woman see her as the most beautiful woman. And they know they're not the best looking guy, so they're afraid. I mean, the guy could look like Brad Pitt in his prime and still have that same feeling. Okay? I've seen it. And it's real. And really, for this interracial thing to really blow up, it's up to black women. It really is. Because, truth be told, more white men are open to interracial relationship in today's world than black women are. It's true. Even though the numbers are going up, it's really the black women holding it back. It really is. I believe that. Now, I don't know the data on every person, but from what I've seen, I really don't. I really haven't heard a lot of people say they won't date black women. I rarely hear that. And maybe some of them don't tell me that because I'm married to a black woman, but even the ones that didn't know I was married to a black woman were into black women. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and close this, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Monday night, I'm going to have a news show. I'm going to talk about the P. Diddy case and the testimony that Cassie brought down on P. Diddy. And I'm going to talk about that. I have a news reporting I'm going to do Monday evening, Monday night. So you watch that. Saturday night Swirl next week. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. But what's that? I wish I could come on the panel, but I'm gassed out. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, get some rest. I got to get some rest too. But thank you, Alex. You're a good man. Thank you, sir. But anyway, guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching tonight's show. The Dusty Dumpling Hall of Fame will not be every week. It's a rare thing, okay? For people to earn that spot, they got to do something horrible. These guys are. Anytime I put them on, they're dusty. It ain't no. I don't like you, so you're dusty. It ain't like that at all. They've actually done some things, some horrible things. So, anyway, hope you guys have a good night. Let me say a quick prayer before we go. Lord, thank you for tonight's show. Thank you for everybody coming up here tonight to watch. Lord, I pray that you would open these ladies' hearts and help them to be first-class ladies. They are first class, but help them to embrace that and live their life first class and not settle for a man that's lacking, but be blessed with a man that's got it together, that really loves them, Lord. And then the men out there, help them not to be pick men, to help them to be able to stand their ground and be good men and love the women they're with. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay. The one thing I didn't talk about is the pick men. Okay. There are men that are pick me's too. Okay. And what they do, they'll they might have a girlfriend or married to them, and they'll do everything for them. They'll, just treat them like total queens, and these women will take advantage of them. And they're desperate. They'll be dogged out, and they'll just go through it just to be with that woman. They want to be picked. Okay, so the pick me thing, it can go both ways. Okay. I would just say be strong, have your standards, be with people like you, be with people that share your standards, that want the same things in life you want. It makes no sense to be a man or woman that wants a marriage and a family to be with somebody that don't want marriage. Why? Why are you with that person? Okay? Anyway. But you guys have a good Saturday night. I'm going to sleep in tomorrow. God, I'm tired. I've been working 6 days a week. I'll be going on a trip soon. And I'm not telling you where I'm going. Can you guess where I'm going? I'm going to put a poll out there. And you won't know till I get back home. Because I don't broadcast when I'm going, where I'm going, and just for security reasons. In fact, the only time you know I went somewhere is when I'm back home. But anyway. Also, the 4th of July giveaway, guys. Don't forget about that. Okay? You guys know what the giveaway was? $100 bill, hockey jersey of your choice, and a gift bag. Yeah. Hey there, Uncommon Sense with Jose. Good to see you. Welcome. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and drop off. I hope you guys enjoyed. We're on for 2 hours and 41 minutes. I usually don't. Yeah, I usually do talk that long. I can't even say that. But anyway, thank you guys for being part of this show. And those of you out there, don't be afraid to live your life. Okay? Ladies, you're first class. Be first class. Okay? And anyway, I'll see you guys later. Have a good night. All right, I'll see you next Saturday or Monday. I'll see you guys Monday night, news reporting. Okay, so we're going to talk about the P. Diddy case, Cassidy's evidence, and we're going to go into that. I got some news shows. I got some news reporting I want to do. And I do want to have a prayer meeting too. I haven't done that in a while, so I'm going to have one of those coming up. Probably not tomorrow, but coming down the pipe, probably next week. Okay, I don't want to say I'm going to do it because then I'll forget, and I don't want to be a liar. But anyway, guys, have a good night. God bless you and your family. I'll see you soon.